Let's get started. First of all, welcome to Motive Tech ServiceNow training, and we have been training for last 2 3 years, and then we have trained number of batches, and I'll be the ServiceNow trainer for the this batch. So let's get started. So coming to the service now, right? Why do we need to learn a service now course? Like most of the people, right, have some doubts around that. Why do we need to learn a service now? In case if I learn the service now, will there be any scope for the job opportunities and all, right? So as we all know, ServiceNow is booming in the current market, and various job opportunities are available for ServiceNow courses. Why there are many job opportunities are available in ServiceNow course? Because the current market, right? The current trend we have for IT service management, so it's very huge. Most of the companies earlier they were using different tools for service now. Like it's not a service now. We have a service now is one of the IT service management platform. Earlier we have too many tools like HP service management, and we have a BMC remedy and all. There are many players in the market, but ServiceNow is gaining a more market share due to the product ServiceNow is offering, and the advantage. Like if I'm running some company, if I take a ServiceNow as a platform for my IT service management perspective, I'll get some benefit, not only IT service management, along with that, I'll get some other product offerings as well. So if the if I come to that question, right, if I who all can learn a service now, and if I get a course there, will I get a job opportunities and all? So first of all, there are no prerequisites to learn the ServiceNow course. So let's say I have seen people in previous batches where they are coming from different backgrounds, like they are coming from finance backgrounds, and they are coming from mechanical backgrounds and all. So still they have learned this ServiceNow course and they got into the IT market. So there are no prerequisites to learn a service now. And if anyone like starting a IT career, right? For example, I am working on some BPO company. I am working on some finance related company. Even when I started my career, I started with in the financing career, and I switched to IT by learning service now a couple of years back. So it's if I can do it, you can also do it. So even if I am coming from different background also, current we have so much of market for service now, so you can easily switch to IT and you can get some opportunities on the IT career. Along with that, for example, I am already working on some company. So yeah, I'll get into that. What is service now and all. So along with that, if I want to switch the career, okay. For example, if I am working on some different mechanical background, so if I already working in IT but different application, okay. If I am into SAP or some other technologies, and if I learn the service now, I can easily switch the career and all. So for learning a service now, the minimal programming knowledge required, but I'll guide you how you can learn it easily, and it would be helpful for your course and all. Okay. So the coming to service now, what exactly the service now, right? So ServiceNow is nothing but it's a cloud-based company. It provides workflow automation process and workflow process management details for all the IT service management platforms. So it's a cloud-based company. That means you don't need to install anything into your premises. It's operated in cloud based, like how we are using the Gmail and how we are using the different platforms, right? Yahoo Mail and all. The same way you are logging into the ServiceNow instance. We call it as an instance. I'll explain more on that in the later. So it's a cloud-based company that provides our services as a IT service management practices. So when I say cloud, we have a different types of clouds. We have a software as a service and platform as a service, and we have a infrastructure as a service and all. In layman terms, like if I'm new to the IT, I don't know anything about cloud and I don't know anything about what is a IT service management and all, right? So basically, if you are if you are already working, or even in general terms, let's say you are using the mobile, right? So you are using the Airtel or Geo. Whenever we have an issue with a voice issue or internet issue, we will raise a complaint with the help desk, right? So we'll call a customer care and we will call up the customer care and we will complain about the issue. They'll consider your issue. There are various ways you can raise the issue. Either you can directly call with them, or you can go to the app and raise a complaint with them, right? Or you can do the chatting as well. You can send a SMS and they will raise the issue for you. You will get some reference number, right? That is what we call it as ticket number, correct? So any communication you will do in further with them as a Airtel or Geo, the all communication will be tracked under that particular ticket, right? So that's what to maintain end-to-end process, we need some technology, or we need some application to track of everything from end-to-end base, right? So ServiceNow, initially it was started as IT service management platform. Similarly, even in IT, if you join in any IT company, right, we have various ways, like you might raise a request for laptop, you might raise a request for ID card, or you might raise a request for provident fund, you might raise a request for mobile, right, with the company. To manage your IT services, the ServiceNow, initially it was introduced as a IT service management platform. So that's how it got introduced. It was introduced in the 2004 as a IT service management platform, and the the process was designed from ITIL guidelines. We call it as a ITIL. So ITIL is nothing but information technology and infrastructure library. So I'll talk about more on ITIL and what is an IT service management in further classes. So in high level, ITIL is a which guides you that this is how you need to follow the process. Whereas in IT service management was designed technically from ITIL. So when it comes to cloud, we have I said ServiceNow is a cloud-based company, right? That you all know what is a cloud-based company. So in recent years, we are hearing the term like SAP is in cloud, in ServiceNow is in cloud, Salesforce is in cloud. So if you come across any technologies, they're all migrating to the cloud. So the cloud based is nothing but, in simple terms, some companies they maintain everything for you, infrastructure, and they maintain a database for you, and everything they'll maintain it. So you don't need to maintain anything. So you just subscribe their instance, and you can use it as long as you want. In simple example, we on daily basis we use a Google, right? To Google we use to for Gmail. Google we use it for storing the data like Google Photos and in Google Drive. We store the applications, like we store the documents and everything, right?
Hello.
So you don't need uh, a hard drive to store everything. You can store everything it in the Google Drive, but they have a limits, like you have to pay some minimal amount to use those drive storage and all, right? So that's what we call it as a cloud platform. Everything will be stored in the internet. You can just use it whenever you want it. Okay, so that is what we call it as a cloud-based platform. So when we use the cloud-based platform, you don't need to you don't need to maintain anything. For example, in this case, to use a service now, any company, they don't need to maintain the database to store the data. They don't need to maintain the software application, like to connect it to the servers. They don't need to maintain the servers and all. Everything will maintain by service now. You just using it by logging it in the browser. So to use the service now, you just need a browser and internet. You don't need servers to connect it. You don't need a hardware to connect it and all. So that's what we call it as a cloud-based platform. We have a separate session for that. We For the cloud-based platform, what is cloud and what are the different types of clouds we have in general perspective. So as I
Uh,
mentioned, yeah,
you are telling about SaaS and PaaS.
yes.
In AWS, we are having IaaS and PaaS and SaaS. What is the necessary to go to for service now? AWS is enough, right?
No, it's just for your information purpose only. In service, no, we are not using a SaaS and PaaS. It's just a application. We just use it. So this is for your information purpose only. Like in AWS, AWS will have their own SaaS and PaaS, right? In ServiceNow also, it has their own SaaS and PaaS. But we are not, as a company, let's say if I'm a customer using a ServiceNow platform, I don't need to maintain their SaaS and PaaS. I just using their services. So it's just for your information purpose only. It is nothing related to the service now. Okay. And here we have a information technology, and this ITL is the core concept for service now. So for cloud platform, as I mentioned, it's a cloud-based company. I want to give you some context about what is cloud and all. So I just highlighted this slide, but don't confuse with we are going to learn a SaaS platform and PaaS platform in ServiceNow. So the main motive of ServiceNow, it was designed from ITAL. ITAL is the main key component for ServiceNow. For example, in ITL, we have a different processes. So all process was designed, like we have a best practices and guidelines. It was designed in ITL. So ServiceNow was designed from ITL practices. So in ITAL, it just the best publication for IT service management, where it guides you that any company follow the ITL practices, it would improve the IT services. So we are saying that ServiceNow is a IT service management tool, right? So the IT service management is one of the key component, one of the child component in the ITL. So IT service management was designed from ITL guidelines. So in everyday, in daily basis, we all following the ITL principles, because if we may not aware of that, we are following ITL practices. For example, if you rising if you have any issues, right? Like for example, if you are using Amazon, or if you are using Airtel, like any network, or even if you are using some application, if you see any issues, you will reach out to the service desk and all, right? So these all things initially, like 20, 30 years back, it was designed and the process was designed from ITL. Even if you purchase any product, you will get a warranty and utility service warranty and all, right? So these all comes from ITL. ITL was the key component where it guide you the process for all IT service management platforms. So when it comes to ServiceNow, so this is how the architecture diagrams look like in ServiceNow. So basically here in this one, don't confuse with here we are seeing a database. Are we going to learn database concepts? And here we are seeing firewall and IP security. Are we going to learn and all? So in ServiceNow, it's just an architecture diagram. Let's say if I'm sitting in front of my desk and I'm logging in the ServiceNow. So this is where we are sitting and we are logging into the client. And once you logging into the ServiceNow in the backend, this is how it works. So this entire thing will be managed by ServiceNow. If any company using a ServiceNow platform, they don't need to bother about these things because ServiceNow, it has their own database and it has their own load balancers maintaining it in the different locations. So everything will be maintained by ServiceNow. If any issue comes, let's say you are using a ServiceNow, suddenly your like drive is full, okay, your data is full and your memory is full, you will reach out to ServiceNow only to increase the space or to clean up the unnecessary things. So this is just a high level architectural diagram where it will maintain. ServiceNow has their own load balancers to maintain to cater the needs for clients. And here we have a database to store the data. Like let's say if I'm using a ServiceNow platform, okay, I might be storing millions of data into the records into the ServiceNow. So entire thing will be taken care by the ServiceNow database. Let's say if for some reason someone has deleted the data, so we will reach out to ServiceNow to restore the data. So ServiceNow will take a backup for every day if, for all the clients' databases. Okay, so it just use a SaaS model and PaaS model, and along with it follows the ITL guidelines. And when it comes to scripting, right? So ServiceNow use this JavaScript course. So don't confuse with Java. It's a JavaScript, not a Java. So we use the JavaScript. And if you know the JavaScript, and we have our own glide scripting and all. So we will go through in our classes from scratch. So it would be easy for you once you start learning on it. We have a write examples and we will talk about live examples in our classes. So ServiceNow as a product, initially it was started as IT service management. So when we say IT service management, in IT service management, we have a in different modules are available. So in IT service management, we have a different modules like incident management, and we have a problem management, we have a change management, and we have a service catalog management, and we have a CMDB. Different concepts are there. Initially, like we start with IT service management, wherein we will learn all IT service management concepts in ServiceNow. So when ServiceNow was introduced, it was introduced with IT service management, and then we have a IT operation. These are the different portfolios we have added into the ServiceNow. So the main question comes, right? Why ServiceNow has gaining more market share for the competitors, right? Even we are saying ServiceNow is a IT service management platform. But even if you look at the other tools, like we have a Remedy, we have HP Service Management, and we have some IBM, we have their own IT service desk to manage this IT service management. So why ServiceNow is gaining more market? Because if you subscribe a ServiceNow as a platform for IT service management, right? In case in future, if you want to use the HR related application, like when I say HR related for onboarding a employee to till resignation of employee, what are the process we follow? Everything will be there in the application. So I don't need to go for some other company to use the HR related application. I can easily enable it within ServiceNow only. Let's say if I want to use the security related applications, I can use it in the within ServiceNow only. I don't need to go for some other tool and all. So these all we have in ServiceNow. When we get the IT service management, if any companies preferring the IT service management, they don't need to use the rest of the applications. They can use this particular platform, and in future, if they want to use it other applications, they can go and subscribe their other applications in ServiceNow instance. So as I mentioned, right, we have a different, it's not only ServiceNow in the market share, we have a different we have a different competitors are available in market. But why ServiceNow is gaining more market share and why ServiceNow has a huge number of opportunities due to because of this one. So whereas in if I pick the Remedy and if I started using the IT service management, I can use it. In future, if I want to use the some HR related ones or customer service related or field service related, I have to go for some other company to get these related applications. Whereas in if I go for ServiceNow, I can get all the products within single platform. So that's why ServiceNow has a huge number of opportunities. Most of the customers are using a Remedy and some other tools. They're migrating to ServiceNow, and it has a huge number of potential opportunities are available in current market. So why companies are preferring a ServiceNow? One thing is definitely it's a hosted in the cloud. So anywhere, if I have internet, I have a browser, I can use the ServiceNow. If any company using a ServiceNow, they can just log into the internet, and they just we will get one. Every company has their own URL, instance URL. For example, in Google, we have a gmail.com, right? Similarly, if I use a ServiceNow, if my company is ABC, I'm using a ServiceNow, I will get abc.servicenow.com. So I can log into the ServiceNow instance and I can start using it. And second thing is, so when you get a ServiceNow instance, right? When you logged into the ServiceNow instance, initially they will provide we call it as a out of box functionalities. For example, if you purchase a mobile, right, or if you purchase a Windows platform, right, by default we will get some applications, right? So for example, if I purchase a mobile, by default I'll get a mail, calculator and calendar, all the functionalities, right? Similarly, by default, when you logged into the ServiceNow instance, you will get a out of box functionalities. So, and if you want to enhance it or if you want to customize it, let's say I got one application for incident management where if any customers are reporting an issues, I'll manage it in the application. So if I want to customize it as per my business need, I can also customize it. I can change the application, I can change the views, I can change the forms, I can do all things in the ServiceNow. So that means it allows you to customize your application. And third thing is, it's based on the ITL. ITL is the platform where any company if follows the ITL practices, right? Definitely they are following the best practices in the market. And fourth thing is we have a customer self-service. Let's say in ServiceNow, let's say if I am running a company, I want to know how many customers are reported the issue. Okay. For example, I'm provider of internet service. I want to know in monthly how many customers are facing an internet issue and how many customers are reaching out to us. So I can simply take a reporting in ServiceNow. I can use the self-service reporting. I can see the volume. I can see the data. Everything it can be reportable, and even you can connect it to the other like LED TVs and all the same reporting. The instance can be connected. The other thing is it's a continuity of service. So when you are using a service now, the best thing is you will see that very rare that you will see the downtime of service now. It is always up. The application is always on and it is usable for any time. Okay, because the service now they are maintaining different locations. Even if one load balancer, so the load you have, right, if it is one load balancer is down, they'll immediately it will be redirected to the some other load balancers in different country. So that's why its application is always up. And we have a easy upgrade process. So let's say you are using an Android or iPhone, right? So you always see Android 10, Android 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, right? Similarly, in ServiceNow also, we have a improvements, the process. Every version they will release, they will introduce the new features. So currently, every version, right, they will release based on the alphabetical order and with the city names. So currently, for example, if I'm using it will starts with A, Aspirin, Berlin. So all they considered as a city names. And currently, the latest version is Utah. So it's a city name, one of the city name. And earlier it's a Tokyo, then San Diego, and then Paris, and Madrid, New York, London. Similarly, they will release each version with the capital of city names. And who use ServiceNow, right? For example, we are discussing more on ServiceNow. Who will use a ServiceNow? Like for employees, let's say if I'm an employee, simple terms, I join some company, I use a ServiceNow to request a laptop, to request a ID card, right? Or if I'm an employee, I want to raise a issue reported. I want to report an issue. My laptop is not working. My printer is not working. I can use the ServiceNow to report an issues. For example, IT support staff. Let's say if I am an employee, I raise a issue. My laptop is not working, and that ticket will be routed to IT team. Let's say if I'm working in IT team, I'll take that ticket. I'll see what is not working for that employee. If I want to repair something, I'll update it in the ticket. If I want to replace a new laptop, I'll raise a request to replace the laptop. And we have administrators to manage the applications. In ServiceNow, we have a different types of users are available. We have admins to manage an application and all. And as you all know, implementers and developers are to work on development side on the ServiceNow instance. So implementers are someone who implement a application on MVP phases wise, like MVP1 and MVP2 and all. So the major customers are using the service now. And still, if you look at the opportunities are available, you can see many opportunities within ServiceNow only. We will have many companies are using every top rated companies and every even small based companies also started using the ServiceNow. So like other technologies we have in ServiceNow also we have certifications. We have started with the system administrator, and then we have a application developer, then we have a implementation specialist and all. So the basic one initially you can try for the system administrator one. And if you complete the system admin, you can go for application developer and implementation specialist. So these are some links where you can go for self-studying. So the one of the important thing in ServiceNow, we have talked about many benefits, right? The other benefit we have in ServiceNow, if you learn a ServiceNow, you can get a new ServiceNow instance access. It's a completely free. You can practice it. Whatever we are doing it in the real time. You can also same thing can be done in your personal instance. We call it as a PDI. So it's a personal instance. So where you, if you have a email ID, you can easily sign up the ServiceNow instance. You can design a new application. It's completely free. Whatever we are doing it in the real time, the same thing can be done within the ServiceNow personal instance as well. While we are going in the classes, I'll show you like how the real time work look like and what we have in the personal instance. It almost similar. Whatever I'm doing it in the real time, the same thing can be done it in the personal instance, except some limitations. Whereas in if you want to use some paid applications, so most of the applications, 99%, it's completely free and you don't need to pay anything. It's completely free while subscribing the service for instance. So
While
I'll,
writing the
yeah.
while writing the ServiceNow business administrator,
Hmm.
after creating the account, they will provide the voucher, right?
Yes. So the voucher in the sense earlier they used to provide for writing certifications. We had some period. There was one contest. They have given the free vouchers, but right now you need to you cannot get the voucher until you have a partner portal access to complete the ServiceNow course. So the partner portal access, in order to get, you should, your company, like you have to join a company. That company is partner with a ServiceNow platform. So currently it's not free. In case if you have a voucher, you can try it. If someone gives you a voucher, but you cannot pay amount and you can write an exam. It's a voucher based. You have to get the voucher only. Okay. And while practicing in ServiceNow, you can practice within our cell. Like it's a completely, you will get a free of personal instance, and every registered email ID you registered with ServiceNow, you will get one URL where you can logging into that URL and you can practice with the ServiceNow instance course and everything. Okay. That's all. Any questions?
If there are any advantages, there will be the flaws in the ServiceNow, right? So what are the flaws in the ServiceNow?
There are like no such as flaws, I would say. If you, I mean, definitely considering the current market trend, right? If you learn
Yeah.
it, definitely you will get the opportunity if you really tried it. So, and the advantage, if I would talk about more on advantages rather than talking about flaws, because I don't see any flaws. Because the current market, right? Most of the companies are which are using older tools like Remedy and all, they all migrating to the ServiceNow to get more portfolio and product offerings. So if you, when many companies are started using the ServiceNow, like many opportunities are would be available, and many job creations will happen, right? So that's why if you look at ServiceNow job opportunities in any online employee career portals, you will see many opportunities. So I don't see any flaws in considering the current market trend, but in future after 5 years or 10 years, we cannot predict. But at least 5 to 10 years, the market will be there, minimum.
Well, the different companies will have the different service now, right, sir?